A woman is the only thing I'm afraid of that I know will not hurt me. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. All that I am or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. How many legs does a dog have if you call his tail a leg? For saying that a tail is a leg doesn't make it a leg. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Character is like a tree, and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. No man has good enough memory to be a successful liar. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. You can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad, and that's my religion. I will prepare, and someday my chance will come. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? No matter how much cats fight, there always seem to be plenty of kittens. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts. Marriage is neither heaven nor hell. It is simply purgatory. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of Earth. He has a right to criticize who has a heart to help. Let's have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us, to the end, dare to do our duty as we understand it. I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life. Avoid popularity if you would have peace. I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him. That some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. This country, with its institutions, belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right of amending it, or exercise their revolutionary right to overthrow it. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under the rule of a just God cannot long retain it. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. A house divided against itself cannot stand. A friend is one who has the same enemies as you have. The best way to get a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. You have to do your own growing, no matter how tall your grandfather was. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea, but if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. If we could first know where we are and whither we are tending, we could then better judge what to do and how to do it. Labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor and could never have existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital and deserves much the higher consideration. The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who'll get me a book I ain't read. Important principles may and must be inflexible. We should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. Towering genius disdains a beaten path. It seeks region hitherto unexplored. The way for a young man to rise is to improve himself in every way he can, never suspecting that anybody wishes to hinder him. I never had a policy. I have just tried to do my very best each and every day. If once you forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem. If I were two-faced, would I be wearing this one? I care not much for a man's religion whose dog and cat are not the better for it. Don't interfere with anything in the Constitution. That must be maintained, for it is the only safeguard of our liberties. Public sentiment is everything. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. I want it said of me by those who knew me best that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. I know that the Lord is always on the side of the right, but it is my constant anxiety and prayer that I and this nation may be on the Lord's side. When you have got an elephant by the hind legs and he is trying to run away, it's best to let him run. True patriotism is better than the wrong kind of piety. Hold on with a bulldog grip and chew and choke as much as possible. If you think you can slander a woman into loving you or a man into voting for you, try it till you are satisfied. Surely, God would not have created such a being as man with an ability to grasp the infinite to exist only for a day. No, no man was made for immortality. The leading rule for the lawyer, as for the man of every calling, is diligence.